Aloha, Richard Halverson here. This is ICS211, and in this video, I'm going to start Chapter 3 on branches. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to see how far I get with Chapter 3 here. So if we look at Chapter 3, it's on branches. Now, as you know, this is a review because this is a second semester programming class, and you should know all this already. And I'm going over certain aspects of the language, of the Java language, that are different than other languages. You may have come from the world of Python or C#, or you might have taken a course at a different college or whatever. And so that's why there's all these optional sections in Chapter 3 here, because the way if else branches work are the same pretty much in all languages. The only difference between Java and Python has more to do with the using curly braces to delineate a block versus indentation. So anyway, I don't see any code here. Let's go down to where the non-optional part. Switch statements. There are switch statements in every language, but nobody hardly ever uses them. And in Java, they look like this. You start out with a switch statement, and then you have an expression here that evaluates to something. It evaluates to not a floating point number. It's got to be an integer or a string, something that you can use, that you can test equality for. You shouldn't really test equality with double type variables, because double type variables are not always entirely exactly accurate, because there's this conversion between base 10 and base 2, and if you can express something in base 10 as a non-repeating, some sort of finite length number, floating point number that ends maybe a bunch of places to the right of the decimal point, if you convert, you can express it in a program, because we do base 10, but when you represent it in the computer, it's base 2, and so it ends up not converting. So that's why you shouldn't use equal signs. We're going to get more on that later in this chapter, I believe. Maybe it's the next chapter. But anyway, so back to the switch statement. This expression evaluates to something, and then you list the different possible values that expression could evaluate to. And what you do in each of those cases. And then at the end, you can have a default, which takes care of all the other cases. But you don't have to have that. The other thing about the switch statement is, when you're done with what you're going to do for that particular case, you put a break statement, and that pops you out to the next statement just past the switch statement. In other words, you put the break after each one, so when the expression is evaluated, it directs to a single case, and that case is executed, is processed, and then you're done. Now, if you don't put the break statement there, it's just going to pass on through. Okay, so you can get tricky with that, but it's usually difficult for the next programmer that comes along and looks at your code and is trying to figure out what was going on in your head. That makes it more difficult. So it's not recommended. And by the way, that next programmer can be used 6 months from now. You go and you go, what was I thinking at the time? So anyway, here's an example. This is a value. It's either going to evaluate to 1 or to 3 or to 4 or anything else. And if it's anything else, this executes, and then it breaks out. Same with each of these cases. Okay, so this is now, of course, you can do the same thing with if, else, if. Okay, this does the same thing. but and this is how I would do it, but it can be less clear, especially if you're used to using switch statements. I mean, I can see that this would be less clear. All right, so anyway, go through this. Let's do a challenge here. Okay. Write a switch statement that checks next choice. Switch next choice. And then I think, what do you do? You colon, I got it. It's not a colon, say this. Copy this just because I want to. Okay, so it's switch. I guess I can, of course, it doesn't matter. Java doesn't matter, the indentation. There's the colon, and by the way, this is next choice goes in here. And we want 0, 1, 2. So we want case 0. 0 does not have quotes around it. That means it's a number. It is a number. It's an integer. So we just want case 0. Prints out rock. No, it's system out print line rock break. So that's case 0, 0, 1, and 2. 0, 1, 2, and then an else. And then we end the, see that lights that up there, which means that's the end of that. Okay. And do we need a break here? No, we don't. It's called default. And it'll say unknown, unknown. And this is going to be paper. And this is going to be scissors. And this is going to be 0, 1, 2. Okay, and we don't need this, but we're just going to leave it there. Go. Very good. All right, what's this one? Write a switch statement that checks that and prints that other, or any other character print unknown. Okay, so I'm just gonna do a little bit of copy here. I'm gonna copy this switch statement because I like it. Copy. And I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna just pasteola. And I'm gonna make this be org letter. And I'm going to say case, what is it, A or A, B or B. Now I think, how do you put more than one in here? Comma? Let's see. Multiple, can you do multiple case? I do something like that. You could do it that way, or Java, multiple case labels. How about that? Multiple case labels. Using 2 values for one switch statement. Is that what you do? No. Oh, that's how you do it. Okay, so yeah, you don't. You can't put the kind. You can't put comma, comma. No, just one thing. I believe it. So I'm going to do this. Go back down here. I'm going to do, this is where I am. I'm going to do case capital A, and I'm going to print out alpha, A-L-P-H-A. And for B, I'm going to print out beta. And I'm going to make this B, B, and I'm going to, for any other character, I'm going to print unknown. So I can get rid of this. But then I want it to be either this case or this case. And for this case, I want it to be this case or this case. How's that? Okay, let's see. Well, very good. All right, what's next? Boolean data type. So we can have Boolean data types. We have integers, we have chars, we have strings, we have doubles, and we have Booleans. Booleans can either be true or false. And so if you have a Boolean variable on the left side of an assignment statement, the right side of the assignment statement has to be an expression that evaluates to either true or false. For example, this is large party is a Boolean variable, and the expression on the right side is it's a true, you know, it's either true or false. Party is greater than 6 is either a true statement or it's a false statement. And about the evaluation gets stored in the is large party variable. All right, and so then you just treat them, you know, like the whole expression. You just treat it like this. This means not is party. Is party is large party not in. Anyway, so that's Boolean types, and let's do some challenges. Assign is teenager. That's this one with true if kid age is 13 to 19 inclusive. Okay, so I'm gonna if is teen, I gotta put can I use that expression? Anyway, I'm just gonna put the kid age equals no, sorry, is teenager equals. Now I have a if. It's like but I don't need to put the word if. I just say kid age is greater than or equal to 13, and kid age is less than or equal to 19. Okay, let's see if this is correct. All right, very good. Let's do this one. Write an if-else statement to describe an object. Print balloon if is balloon is true and is red is false. Print red balloon if is balloon and is red are both true. Print not balloon otherwise. All right, well, I'm going to try to do that. First, I'm going to say if, I think I gotta put them in parentheses. If his balloon is true and is red, I'm just gonna even do it this way because I like thinking it this way instead of this not red business. If that's true, then I want to print I gotta say system out print ln balloon BALLOON. Oops. Yeah, OON, two O's. Balloon. Balloon. Okay. And then what's next? Else. Wait a minute. Wait, this is yeah, okay, right. Print, okay, else if his balloon and is red. Oh, I it's this. In Python, it would be AND. And is red. Okay, so I can understand that. If that's both true, then print red balloon. Otherwise, system out, not a balloon. And then I close the if statement. And I think that is all I need to do. Prints balloon if this, so I could use those other kind of stuff. Anyway, okay, let's see what this is. All right, very good. Time is it? I got to go pretty soon. Excuse me. What time is it now? I don't know. I mean, where are we? We've done 3:12, let's do 3:13. Equality. Okay, strings. This is okay, so this is some new Java stuff here. You can when you're testing string equality, you should use these methods that come along with the string class. And there's equals where you're testing if this string is equal to this string, then this whole thing returns true. If they're not equal, it returns false. Okay. You should not use this. Why? It's beyond the scope of this section, but you shouldn't use it. And when you're doing string comparisons, like greater than or less than, it's alphabetical starting with the first, character. Like, so for example, these two words, strings, capital, this one is less than this one because they're the same all the way to this one, and A is less than J. A is less than J. J is greater than A. So that's how the comparison works. J is greater than A, so the student name is greater than teacher. Now, to get the points, you got to click through this, okay? So make sure you click through this thing. And then we're done. Okay, So make sure you click through these. Okay, so there's compare to. Use the compare to method that comes along with all the strings. And if this is less than this thing is going to return a number, an integer that's less than 0. What is that integer? I don't know. For this one, if this is equal to this, then it returns 0. And if this is greater than this alphabetically, then this is going to return a number greater than 0. So that means all you got to do is test if this is less than 0 or equal to 0 or greater than 0. And since we have this one here, it looks like we don't even really need the equal to, the equals, but we have the equals. You can do comparisons ignoring case. So this is for equal to, equals to ignoring case or not. Okay, so let's do this one. Write an if else statement that prints goodbye if the user string is quit. Otherwise it prints hello and ends with a new line. So I'm going to say if string equals goodbye, if that's true, then I would like to system out print ln goodbye. Else, whatever. Else, I don't think I need a parentheses here. I'm just going to say system out print line hello. Oh, I got to say else if user string equals quit, no. Otherwise it prints hello. Yeah, I gotta fix this. This is all messed up. This is all messed up. Okay, so this has got to be quit. If they type quit, then it prints goodbye. Otherwise it prints hello. So this here is got to be copied. And I'm going to put the and close it here just because I like it better. And then I'm just going to do this. Paste. Otherwise, print hello. Okay, so if user string equals quit, then print this, then do that statement. Otherwise, do this statement. Just right. Yeah, of course, you should make it look nicer. All right, print two strings in alphabetical order. Okay, so I'm going to read a first string and a second string, and I'm going to say if first string compared to second string, if it's less than 0. In other words, if first string comes before second string, then do this. System out print line first string space second string. Okay, that. If first string is less than second string, in other words, if first string comes before second string alphabetically, print first string first, then second string. Otherwise, close that, else print the second thing. Print them in reverse order. So even so, if they're equal, it doesn't. If they're equal, it doesn't matter because they're the same. So I'm going to say second string comes first. Second string comes first. Plus, there we go. So that's what I think happens. Well, what do you know? All right, let's see, it's 10:53 and I have to go out to lunch. So I have finished 311 through 313. I'll come back later this afternoon and do the rest of these. All right, hope this helps. Thanks for watching.